Welcome. We will wait a couple of minutes before starting. So we wait for other attendees. Good afternoon. So welcome. We will wait a couple of minutes before starting. So we wait for... Okay. I just copy and paste the link for the live streaming that we have on YouTube, if you prefer to attend the webinar on YouTube. And I'll also start a registration in a few minutes. Wait 3:05 to start. Okay. Hello, hello. I see your message on the chat. We have already almost 100 attendees, 105 participants. We started the broadcast on YouTube. So you can switch to YouTube if you prefer. Okay, so I think we can start. Let me start the registration of this webinar that will be made available on the website. Okay, hello to everyone. Welcome to this second webinar on our PhD course on Sustainable Development and Climate Change. I'm very, very happy and honored to host you together with my colleagues to this webinar. I see many attendees already on this webinar. I am Mario Martina. I'm the PhD coordinator, and I'm here with my colleagues that I'd like to introduce to you. They will actually introduce themselves. So let me first call Alberto. Alberto, can you introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Alberto Azzori from the University of Sassari. I work as a researcher in ruminant nutrition, and I'm part of the curriculum in agriculture and forestry for this PhD.
Thank you, Alberto. Alessandra, please introduce yourself.
Hello, good morning. Alessandra Sannella speaking here, and I work in the University of Cassino in Southern Lazio. My CV in institutional culture and theories, and my research and my PhD CV is about health and public health in sustainable development. Thank you.
Thank you, Alessandra. Armando?
Hello everyone, I'm Armando Carlone. I'm an associate professor in L'Aquila, University of L'Aquila. I'm a chemist by training and also by interest. So my research is about sustainable catalysis, sustainable chemistry to make molecules of interest, using catalysis as a tool, as a sustainable tool. And I'll show you later some things. See you later.
Thank you, Armando. Eugenia?
Thank you, Mario. Thank you to everybody for joining this webinar. I'm Eugenia Macchiavello. I'm assistant professor of business law and economic law at the University of Genoa. And I will supervise a fellowship in sustainable finance, regulation of sustainable finance, and other. I'm of the CV institutions, culture, and theories. And so we gather together philosophy, law, and sociology as Alessandra. And there are other fellowship in this area too. And I just want to add, and I think on the account of everybody that also us as professors are really excited about this program, and we are really looking forward to knowing you and working together in this very exciting area. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Eugenia. Thank you very much. Marco?
Hello, good morning and welcome to this webinar. I'm Marco Gaetani. I'm an assistant professor at US Pavia in meteorology and climatology. I will be part of the curriculum on Earth system and environment. During this webinar, I will be in charge of responding to your questions during the presentation. So I recommend to write your questions in the questions and answer section, not in the chat. Thank you.
Thank you, Marco. And Roberta.
Hello, welcome to everybody. My name is Roberta Salomone from the University of Messina. I'm a full professor of commodity science. My research activities are focused on sustainability assessment, circular economy, industrial symbiosis. In this wonderful PhD school, I'm involved in curriculum 2, socioeconomic risk and impacts, that is focused on measuring the transition towards a decarbonized and sustainable economy. In particular, I'm the reference person for the fellowship Circular Bioeconomy, assessing the sustainability of bio-based processes and products. I hope to receive a lot of questions from you. Thanks.
Thank you, Roberta. Thank you very much. And again, welcome to everybody. Let me give you an overview on the organization of this webinar. We will spend, mainly we have 3 sessions. In the first session, we will present the PhD in general terms. I will introduce this wonderful course. Then I give the floor to Armando, that will show you a search engine that we just put on the web to help you on browsing the research program, which is quite large extent and also has a lot of research topics within it. And in the third session, Roberta will give you advice on the admission procedure, on the documents to present, how to prepare them, and also on the important dates for this admission procedure. This is about the presentation. At the end of the presentation, we will have a large Q&A session, questions and answers. You can make questions and answers either by raising your hand. You should have a button in the bottom part of your screen with raise hand. You can raise your hand and Alberto Azzori will give you the possibility to speak, or you can write your question during at the end of this session by using the Q&A button. In any case, during the presentation, if you want, you can also type your question in the chat, or anything that is not clear, or even comments during the presentation. You can use the chat, and Marco, as I was saying before, will assist you in providing extra information, additional information, or answering directly in the chat. Of course, any comments, any question is very, very welcome. The main purpose of this webinar is to offer any information, any assistance for your admission to this PhD course. Okay, we can start. Let me share my screen and you should be able now to see my presentation. I'll spend a few minutes with this short presentation to provide some an overview on the PhD. The PhD in Sustainable Development and Climate Change. This is the summary of the presentation. First, we will tell you the origin, the motivation behind this PhD course. I'll present the consortium, some numbers, key facts, the course organization, the 6 curricula of the PhD, how it is organized, the educational program and the research program, and at the end, the admission procedure. Well, as you know, PhD courses are normally offered by a single university or by 2 or 3 universities jointly. In 2019, 2 projects for a nationwide inter-university PhD course have been presented in Italy to the Ministry of University and Research. One is our project, Sustainable Development and Climate Change, and the other is a PhD on Artificial Intelligence coordinated by University of Pisa. Both projects have been funded by the Minister of University and Research. And they had 2 common features. One, they were about strategic and relevant topics, sustainable development and climate change, one, and the other, artificial intelligence. And the other feature, important feature, is they were a different model, a different organization of a PhD, a nationwide network of university and research institutes working together for the same educational program, for the same research program, strengthening their collaboration and probably also producing multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary research. The aims of this PhD course are first to propose a new sustainable models to address climate change and its impact, but also to build a learning and research community able to promote innovative and operational solutions to the complex problems of our society. The consortium, at the beginning of this project, the founders mainly were 5. The University School of Advanced Studies USS in Pavia, where I work, the Center for Climate Change and Sustainable Actions, made of 3 schools, Sant'Anna di Pisa, Normale di Pisa, and USS Pavia, the Ministry of University and Research, the Italian Alliance for Sustainable Development, and the Italian University Network for Sustainable Development, RUS. We open through express of interest to the academic world in Italy the participation to this PhD course, and 30 university and public research institutes manifested their interest to participate to this project. Together with all these universities, we cover the entire Italian territory and all the PhD research areas. Besides the academic world, we have also knowledge partners. The first is the NL Foundations, and many others will come. They provide support and stimulus to the scientific debate. So the consortium is very large, made not just by scientific entities, but also public and private enterprises and companies. The key facts. The duration of the course is 3 years, is a full-time course. We provide more than 160 hours of educational program. There are 6 months of research abroad at foreign universities, 105 for this third cycle, fully funded scholarships, 105 professors and researchers. As you can see, is a very large PhD. The course organization. The USE University is the headquarter, and it provides the PhD coordination and the administration services. But each university is the host of a PhD for some PhD candidates, where there is at least one research supervisor, a research team, and research resources. So PhD candidate carries out research activities at the host university on a specific research topic. All the PhD candidates are enrolled at USE. But during the PhD course, PhD candidates will move across the different universities because, as you will see, many events are organized in different sites, in different universities, and PhD candidates are encouraged to work in collaboration with colleagues and other research teams to work as a network. This is the main strength of our PhD. At the end, we can, as you can see, we are a network that covers the entire Italian territory, 30 universities, 80 departments, 150 professors and researchers, computational resources, laboratories, libraries, educational infrastructures. The PhD is organized in 6 curricula. Although it has one core research topic, sustainable development and climate change, we see it as one research topic, common to all the PhD curricula. 6 PhD curricula: 1 Earth, System and Environment, 2 Socioeconomic Risk and Impacts, 3 Technology and Territory, 4 Theories, Institutions and Cultures, 5 Agriculture and Forestry, and 6 Health and Ecosystems. 6 curricula, very, very strictly interconnected, multidisciplinary and transdisciplinary. So the collaboration among different curricula is very, very important for our PhD. You can see, you can also read more details on the curricula, on the research, and on the key aspects of each curriculum in our website. I'll also, later on, Armando will tell you more about this. Educational program. This is another important feature of our PhD because the educational program is organized in different dimensions. One is the horizontal dimension, where we have a common research topic, sustainable development and climate change. The second is the vertical dimension, where in each curriculum there will be a specific topic for that curriculum. And the other is a focus dimension, a very punctual and very disciplinary dimension, where for each research topic, there is a training and educational program to provide tools and information to carry out the research, its own research. You see also on the website, for each of these dimensions, we already organized and planned some events, multidisciplinary event for the horizontal dimension, to expose all the PhD candidates to the complexity of the problem of the sustainability and climate change. On the vertical dimension, curriculum CU events to train PhD candidates on tools and topics common to the scientific curriculum, and focus and disciplinary events, selection of thematic and methodological courses suggested by the supervisors and offered by the local host universities. All these events are calibrated such that there is a large educational program, but we leave also space to the research activities. And the trade-off among these two needs, educational and research activities, we decided to offer 48 hours for the MD events, 48 hours for the CU events, and 64 hours for the FD events. This is the minimum, let's say, amount of hours, but we will not go much further from this amount of hours. We have also a detailed calendar plan for each of these events. I don't go now into the details, but at the beginning of the PhD course, at the kickoff meeting of the PhD course, we will also tell you the calendar that is across the 3 years of the duration of the event of the PhD course. Research program. I have to say, first of all, that the research program has been inspired by the Sustainable Development Goals from the UN. The Sustainable Development Goals are also reported in each research topic, the reference one. And we have many keywords describing the research program. Armando will give you a little bit of insight on this in a few minutes. The 105 scholarships are divided in almost in a homogeneous way in the 6 curricula. We have 20 for the first curriculum, 17 for the second, 29 for the third, 13 for all the other 3 curricula. So you can see there is a large offer over the curricula of the PhD. This is an overview of the different goals, sustainable development goals, coming out from the research topics that you find in the research program. The top 3 goals, as you see, are goal 13 on climate actions, goal 11 on sustainable cities and communities, and 12 on responsible consumption and production. But you see that we cover many other goals from the UN agenda. In the research program, you find a card describing the research topic. Each scholarship is described at the same way with this card. You see on the card a scholarship code, which is important to remember if you want to submit your proposal, a research title, some research keywords, 3 research keywords to give you already the idea on the context and aim of the research, the reference European Research Council sectors. These are not meant to be compulsory backgrounds for PhD candidates, but is a reference to understand where is located the research among the different ERC. The reference Sustainable Development Goals, you will find the referent person, and you find there also the email address of the reference person that you can contact if you want to have more information, more details on the research. This reference person could be very likely your supervisor, the host university, the research topic, which describes the scope and the objectives of the research in more detail, the research team and environment, indicating where the research activities will be carried out, and last, some suggested skills that ideally the candidate should possess in order to succeed in their doctoral research. So we thought that this sort of description, this sort of card could help you to select the right research topic depending based on your interests. Very well. As I was saying before, we develop also a search engine that is already online. I give the floor to Armando that will present his search engine directly referring to the our website. So Armando, please, the floor is yours.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mario, for the great introduction and all the information you gave so far. So first of all, let me stress how great such a doctoral program is. And this is actually emphasized, guys, as you also from like the research program that we have developed for you. Like, you know, we have 105 PhD scholarship, PhD teams. Like, and until a few days ago, if you clicked on this link, it was actually this one, you could actually see the whole research program. As we saw, it is like 105 scholarship. So if you scroll this like pretty large PDF file, it's 186 pages. It was pretty like you know, it was not easy to search for all the different scholarship and, you know, the theme that was most close to your heart. So, you know, there is like all the research topics that you can imagine of. So you could have, yeah, you have a list of research topics in this file, and you actually had to go in the, for example, in C01, then you had to scroll down for C01, and as Mario showed you, 812 years, so you scroll more, and then, you know, somehow you will get to C01, maybe, like that one, maybe a bit less. You know, it is like, I know where things are, and it's taking time for me. So you can see like the scholarship C01, and then see what it is about, and so, you know, you can read, and if it interests for you and so on. This takes time. We understand it. We appreciate it. Like, it's a pretty vast program. So what we did in these last few days, we developed a search engine that will make your life easier and our lives easier as well, so that we can get, you know, we have the best candidates there for the program. So if you click on this link, you will have a new page opening now, and it's on a separate website where we actually developed this search engine. So this the website, I hope. No, okay, should be a good Zoom good enough. So, you know, it starts from the introduction you already saw with all the different curriculum. But if you go down, it's much more smooth, the search that you want to see. So we have the different, so if you click here, you have again the research program, but then you have the different curriculum here. And if you click on the plus sign, you can see all the different research topics in each individual curriculum. So if you click on one, you will have the, you know, the research topic expanding, and you can read beside, you know, the title, the research, the keywords, the ERC, the reference ERC, the goal, the reference person as we saw, and the university, and then the topic, the research team environment. You know, everything in the skills that we already discussed. If you want to look at for another, I mean, if you want to read more about another topic, you just click, the first one will collapse, and then you can read the other one. You can also collapse the whole curriculum and go for another one, open, and, you know, and browse all the different topics this way. As you can see, in each topic, you will have the code, E01 in this case, the title, that is dairy cattle adaptation to heat stress modeling and management, and the university, that is in this case the University of Sassari. But so this way you can browse all the different scholarship. Also, once I am here, I can also show that we have different social. So you can link on our social and, you know, share and comment and, you know, make everything more known to everybody. But we also developed a search engine, as I was saying. You can actually search for keywords. You can search for one keyword, like, you know, for example, catalysis, and click on search, and you will have a table showing you all the hits for that keyword. So in this case, we have 4 hits for the research keyword catalysis. You can search for more than one keywords at the same time, like, you know, for example, chemistry and catalysis. if you search, you will have more hits because there is there are some hits for catalysis, some for chemistry, and some for both keywords. So you can search for your interest this way. You can also search for a surname of someone. So my surname is Lone, and if you search, you can find actually the research topic for which I am the reference person. You can search for Mario Martina, that was speaking earlier, and you'll see two topics, and you can see, I can search for, like Alessandra Sannella later, for example, and you can see a topic. You can also look for the university, like, search for Venice, and you can see which topics are linked to Venice. So this is the first one is like for the University of Venice, and the other ones are in different ones, university, but somehow there's the word Venice in the research topic. And so if you click on the topic, you actually are taken to the research topic down, like in the curriculum. You can actually read more about it. You can read to see if it's of interest to you. Then you can scroll back up and say, okay, I want to read the other ones, and you click on the second one and read more about it. And as we saw, that we also for each, sorry, I just want to go like that. So for each topic, we have title, university, research keywords. So you can search for research keywords. You can search for the ERC code. So for PE10, PE6, and so on, or for the code. Everything in this topic is searchable. So this should actually make your life easier, and you should say, look, I don't know, I am interested in communities, for example, and research for communities, and see all the research topics related to communities. That are, a lot. For example, you can search for any kind of. It can actually make, your research for the best topic that would fit you much easier. And we hope that this actually makes your life easier as well. I hope it was enough.
Thank you, Armando. Yes, Armando will be available to answer to some questions if there are on this search engine. And let me go back to the presentation, because I'd like to now give the floor to Roberta. I will guide you through the admission procedure. Please, Roberta.
Okay, thank you very much. So the admission procedures. You can find on the website the timeline with all the important dates that you have to control. In June, we published the call for the PhD candidates. In July, there is the deadline for the submission. In October, we will have the selection of the PhD candidates, and in November, we will start our PhD course. So the first important date that you have to focus on is the application deadline. That is on the 22nd of July. This is a very important deadline that you have to focus on, because after this date, it will be not possible to submit and to change your application. Before that day, you can send question for any doubts. So you can contact our information desk and ask for any clarification that you need. Please be aware not to present your application the last day, okay? So be aware of that. It is better to prepare it in advance and complete it in advance. Then on the 6th of August, we will start with the qualification assessment. That is the first step, the first phase of the assessment, from which we will understand who will be included in the second step, the second phase, that is the oral interview phase. On the 30th of August, we will start with the oral interviews. And the following date is the 27th of September with the final selection and the publication of the list of candidates that are have been selected, and the final selection. After the final selection, we will start our PhD course on the 1st of November. Now, how to apply? This is an operative indication on how to apply to our PhD course. First of all, the first things that you have to do is to go to our web page, www.uspavia.it/PhD SDC. SDC, it is has been chosen also to because it sounds similar to SDGs, and Mario already explained to you that we were inspired by the SDGs. On the website, you can find all the relevant information that you need to prepare your application and to send your application. You can read, it is highly suggested to read the educational program that, as Mario told before, is organized in this 3-level structure with an interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary perspective, and this is the very added value of this PhD. Then download and read the research program. Now you have this new tool that will allow you to navigate in the research program in a easier way. And this will allow you to choose your curriculum. This is important. Mario presented to you our 6 curricula, but you can apply only for 1 curriculum. This is very important. And something that I would like to stress, to highlight, is that being this an interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary PhD, don't choose the curriculum according to your background knowledge, okay? Because it is not said that the curriculum that you want to choose corresponds to your background knowledge. You have to choose your curriculum based on its description and based on point 5, the research topic that you want to focus on. Thus, choose your curriculum, and then you can read and choose the research topic. Mario, the next step, the research topic that you want to focus on. It is important that you read all the research topics, also using the keywords that and the new tool that we described before, because in this case, the application that you are going to present can be done selecting up to 3 research topics. Thus, you can choose only 1 curriculum, but within this curriculum, you can choose from 1 to 2 to 3 research topics. And we suggest you can obviously also present the application only for 1 or for 2 research topics, but we suggest you to select 3 research topics, and we will explain why this is important, because this is possible and this will widen your possibility to be selected in our PhD school. After this, after having made your selection and having chosen your favorite 3 topics, you can submit the 3 relevant documents that we require for application, that are the curriculum, the CV, the curriculum vitae, the research proposal, and the letter of purpose. These 3 documents are very important, and we suggested to you to prepare them very carefully, because the first step of selection will be based on the content of these 3 documents. Thus, now we will see in particular what we expect to see in this curriculum, in these 3 documents, and what you should try to insert in it. The curriculum vitae, of course, you know what it is, but we require, in this case, a curriculum vitae, a CV, that is a maximum of 2,000 words and in English language. 2,000 words are about 5 pages, no more than 5 pages. Why we ask you to respect these limits? Because we are asking you to insert in your CV only the relevant issues that refer to your CV and to our PhD selection. Thus, you should include your qualification, your education qualification, and describe your training path. You should insert any research, previous research experiences, as well as your previous work experience. You have to insert also, if any, a list of publications, and if you already had an academic and professional experience. And I would like to stress that please build your CV in order to make easier to the selection board to understand how your skills, your previous experience fits with the research topic that you choose. The other document probably is the most important one, is the research proposal. The research proposal is a document that must be written taking this limit of 1,000 minimum and 2,500 maximum words. Again, in this case, you should write a research proposal that is related to your first preference of the research topic. If you remember, I said before that you can choose 3 research topics within one curriculum. The research proposal must be focused on your first preference of these 3 research topics. Why? Because, of course, the research proposal must fit with only one research topic, but don't worry, because we are not assessing, we are assessing the research proposal, but not only focused on that specific research topic. We are focusing on how your ability in writing and building a research proposal on a specific topic. Okay, thus the selection the selection board will be able to assess your ability to write and to prepare a research proposal in general. What do you have to put in your research proposal? An abstract, maximum of 250 words. And then you have to insert the research scope, the research aims, and the research question that you aim to answer to. Then the methodology that you wish to apply to answer to your research question. And finally, the expected results and the expected impacts that you wish to obtain carrying out your research proposal. The first important document that you have to prepare is the letter of purpose. The letter of purpose is a document of maximum 500 words. And in this case, you have the possibility to focus on not only the first research topics, but you can refer to all the 3 research topics that you have chosen. So here you have the possibility to motivate the fact that you choose the topic 1, the topic 2, and the topic 3. Here you have the possibility to motivate why you choose these 3 research topics. And you have the possibility to highlight to the selection board the interest that you have in these research topics. And you can also highlight the relevant skills related to the topics. This is a suggestion. As you have seen before, each research card report also the skills, the suggested skills that we require for each position. So the suggestion is here, try to insert in the letter of purpose the relevant skills that you think fits with the suggested skill of the topics that you have chosen. And the same for the relevant experience. Then the selection procedure. The selection procedure is based on two different phases. The first phase is the assessment of the qualifications. So the selection board will assess the qualifications according to the 3 important documents that we described. The selection board will score up to 20 points for the CV and will score up to 40 points for the research proposal plus the letter of purpose. The minimum score to pass to the second step of selection is 35, okay, to over a maximum of 60 points, okay? The second step, the second phase is the phase in which we will assess the eligibility and the skills. In this case will be the selection board will do interviews to all the applicants that passed the first phase of selection. The interviews will be carried out remotely. And in order to assess the eligibility and skills, will be asked to each applicant to describe, also with a presentation, we will have the opportunity to share a PPT presentation to share the screen will be managed through Zoom, the same that we are using in this moment, that is really easy to use, so you will not have problems to use it if you are not experienced. And the assessment will be based on the scientific background, your scientific background, the research proposal that you presented, and you will have the opportunity also to discuss widely the letter of purpose to better motivate what you have written in the letter of purpose. In this case, the assessment will be will score up to 40 points. And the minimum score to pass this second step of selection is 25, okay? The final ranking will be done for each curriculum and will be made of a total score that is the sum of the assessment for the assessment of the qualification and the assessment of the oral interviews, and the scholarship eligibility. What does it mean, the scholarship eligibility? We said that you have the opportunity, the possibility to apply for free research topics. You can be eligible for one, for two, or for all the free topics that you selected, but not for other topics. So the selection, the eligibility will be within your selection and not out your selection, okay? It will be possible that you gain an eligibility for one research topic you have chosen, for two, or for all the three research topics that you have chosen. Here you can find an example of how it will look at the end. We will have a list of the PhD candidates with their final scores and the list of host university in which we have the eligibility. I don't know if I have forgotten something. Maybe Mario can add something that I lose during the...
Thank you, wonderful. You gave very, very detailed information. I hope they are useful for our candidates. Let me remark 5 things. Deadline is the 22nd of July. Please not wait until the last day. The last day, you can choose just one curriculum, but within this curriculum, you can apply for up to 3 research topics, and we suggest actually to see if it's possible 3 research topics of your interest to apply for all these 3 research topics. Then you need to prepare 3 important documents: CV, research proposal, and letter of purpose. Please put a lot of careful to be as brief as possible, because these documents have some limitations in terms of words, but to be sure to include all the relevant information. And last, for the oral session, you can prepare your PowerPoint presentation if you want to present your ideas, your research proposal, your skills, anything that you think is relevant. So thank you very much, Roberta. Call for applications is open, you know. The website is www.uspavia.it PhD/PhD SDC, but we have also many channels on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter. We have a dedicated email address, phd-sdc@uspavia.it. And I really thank you for your patience, because now is time for the questions. And the questions, as I said before, you can make your question either by raising your hand. You should find the button on the lower part of your screen, or by writing on the Q&A application. There is a button also for Q&A. Marco has already answered to many questions coming on the chat. Thank you very much, Marco. Now Alberto will facilitate the discussion on the Q&A session. Thank to Armando and Roberta for this nice presentation, and all the other colleagues are here available to answer to your questions.
Thanks, Mario. There is a question from Hamad Rashid. Please, you can talk. The floor is yours. Hamad, you can make your question.
Hamad, now we gave you the permission to talk. If you want to talk, you can talk. Okay, let's move on. Okay, please, Hamad. Yes.
Thank you. First of all, I would like to thank Dr. Roberta for such detailed description of application procedure, because I had so many questions, but now I'm only down to one. I have been erasing all those one by one as she was explaining. I only have one question: that does the CV has to be in Europass format, or any general format I can follow that I have made my CV? Thank you. That would be all.
Roberta, you would like to answer?
No, we are not going to ask for an Europass, so you can use your format as you prefer. Also, this could be an interesting way to understand how you can manage it.
Okay, now there is a question from Anna Spadoni.
Hello, everyone. I'm wondering about the research proposal. If it was possible, if I have to use it like even reference and set it like a scientific paper, or it should be something like just from me with my information and my ideas.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you. Alessandra, would you like to answer to this question? Alessandra?
We prefer your idea for my curriculum, absolutely. And so I know if also Eugenia wants to say some things.
Yeah, I think that I mean you could go for both. I mean, you can both present yourself and give us an overview of your research interest, of what are your ideas on sustainability, depending, of course, on the specific fellowship or CV. But of course, if you provide also some, if you can show that you already have a background also from an academic point of view, and you can elaborate a research proposal on this topic, you can get also a higher ranking and again providing evidence that you have also a little bit, of course, you apply for a PhD position, not for a professorship, so just an idea that you can improve your skills, research skill, and methodology. We will be there for this, of course, but if you have a good background, it's an advantage, let's say.
Thanks, Eugenia and Alessandra. Now there is a question from Moyo Sore. Please.
Good afternoon from here. I'm from Nigeria, Moyo Sore, and thanks for the presentation from all our presenters. I will like to ask, during the presentation, is there any thing like presenting our transcript and certificate during the application process, because the first and second speaker did make mention of both the transcript and certificate. Will it be part of our application, or is it later that there will be demand for it? I don't know if you get my question.
I can probably answer to this question. Thank you for your question. Yes, you can upload your transcript if you want. There is a possibility on directly on the website, on the application form. The transcript will be particularly important for those persons who actually do not have yet their title, their master degree. Because, as you probably read on the announcement, the title can be got by the end of October, so even later the admission procedure. So for this reason, in order to assess your career, we will look at your examination transcripts. So it will be a useful document to upload if you want.
Thanks, Mario. Now there is a question from Davide Cerra.
Hello. I want to ask if the research, since we can pick 3 different paths, if we can, if we should write 3 different research purposes, or come up with something concrete in just one of those, and after we discuss the scenarios, the future scenarios that can we like achieve, or how is it working? I mean, we just go for one research purpose and we deliver that, or we just try to write for all the 3 topics we are interested in.
Yeah, Roberta, would you like to answer?
So you can choose 3 research topics within one curriculum, and the research proposal must be focused only on the first research that you choose, okay? So the research proposal must be focused on your first preference, only on your first. You have not to refer to the other 2. On the contrary, on the letter of purpose, you can try to motivate why you choose the 3 topics, the first, the second, and the third. Have I answered?
Yeah. Eugenia would like to add something. Probably.
Yeah, I just want to add something that is very specific to our CV, but it might apply also to others. There are some fellowships that are really close, at least from some aspects. So it would be easy to have a good research proposal that applies to more than one, maybe not 3, but at least 2. So we will be in this sense flexible if we see that maybe you do not qualify for the first, but there's something good also for the other. So I would not be threatened by this, the fact that you should focus on the first, because I think that the Commission will be prepared to deal with this. I mean, it's in the rules, and I believe that also the research topics for each fellowship are really really big in the sense. So they are also described for being quite receptive. So don't be afraid that your research proposal cannot fit with other fellowship. But of course, we believe that if you are interested in a certain area, it's easy that the other two preferences will be close to the first, but we will be flexible.
Thank you, Eugenia. And let me add another thing, Davide. This is a really important point. The research proposal can be, apart the flexibility that we have, on just one topic, although you can choose 3 topics for one reason.
Yes.
Because what we assess is not your knowledge, is not what you already know, but how you organize your ideas, your research, how you choose the right questions. Okay. For this reason, regardless the topic you are writing the proposal on, we'll try to assess your capabilities, your skills, because you are at the beginning of your PhD path. So nobody wants that you already know everything, that you have your research already prepared. No, because your research thesis will request 3 years to be written, to be prepared. So not be afraid about the amount of information that you need to put there. Instead, put efforts on a good organization of the documents. Put your effort on choosing the right questions. And besides the research proposal, in the letter of purpose, you can also try to explain why you have that interest, why you think that your skills can fit the suggested skills for that research topic, and so on. So don't be afraid that you have a limit on the research proposal just on one topic, because we will, we are able anyway to understand your capabilities, your skills, even if you write just on one research topic. Of course, in the research proposal, if you like, you can refer also to the other 2 topics that you choose, but in any case, it's not compulsory.
Okay, so we need to have a flexible approach to the topic, let's say, and being able to interconnect the different, somehow 3 different aspects of it.
You could if you want, but in any case, it's easier for you to concentrate just on one topic. So you can choose one, your first preference, and elaborate on it. Okay, this is the main request.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Now there is another question from Anna Spadoni, please.
Hello again. Excuse me, can I use like graphs for they are not are they counted in the 250 words, 500 words? I can use a graph to make the situation more clear and to explain better with less words.
Yeah. Any graph schemes is welcome. Yes. It's a good way to represent ideas. Schemes, graphs, diagrams, anything that you think it's visual, it always help.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Now there is a question from Kerki. No, there is not anymore. So a question from Mariana, please.
Hi everyone. I read somewhere in the big document that the preference is to research conducted in the Mediterranean area. But I'm interested in researching. I come from Brazil, and I have some ideas to research in the scope of my country. Would this be a problem, or I should just try to frame the research into the Mediterranean reality? Thank you.
Marco, would you like to answer to this question? Did you hear the question? Mariana asked if...
sorry, I was busy with the question answer.
Let me
repeat, please.
Let me repeat the question. Mariana is asking whether our PhD is focused just on the Mediterranean area, basically, or on other areas. So please.
No. I mean, I know there is a scholarship referring specifically to the Euro-Mediterranean climate and environment, but unless it's, unless there is some geographical specification which is specified in the individual scholarship, there is no limitation. There are no geographical limitation or everything or anything. In my scholarship, for instance, I would like to study, to apply climate modeling to risk management. So I give no limitations in this. So the response is there is no any focus unless someone has specified this in his or her scholarship. Otherwise, topics are quite open in the world.
Yeah, exactly, Mariana. Talking about climate, by construction, by definition, we work on the global scale, okay?
Pretty global issue, actually.
Yeah.
Of course, local, impacts, but...
Thank you, Mariana.
Okay, now there is a question from Luciana, please. Luciana, you are mute.
Hi, yes. Can you hear me now?
Yes, very well.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for the great presentation. I had many questions and most of them were answered. I just have one left. And it is about when I present my transcriptions for my qualifications. I have a master's degree from Holland that is about energy and environmental management. And this is only 60 ECTSs. And at the moment I'm studying in Austria. I'm doing a master's for circular economy. And this is 120 ECTS, but I don't have the transcription official one. Should I just send the one from the Netherlands? Is this okay with 60 CTS, or should I send the official record from the Netherlands plus the unofficial transcript from here?
Exactly, the second option. Everything that helps us to understand your career is useful. Besides the official or not official, you will be asked before the beginning of the PhD, so before the 1st of November, if you admitted to the course, to present all the official documents and if you got the title also for the second master's. But in the evaluation phase, it is important for us to know your career. So you can specify, you actually auto-certificate, in that case, your career. And then we will verify, okay, in the second phase. But for the admission procedure, you can proceed even with the unofficial list.
Mario?
Yes, please, Roberta.
Maybe we can add, because this is something that in general creates confusion for some of the foreign students. In Italy, for the PhD, to apply and enter in a PhD, you must have a master degree, okay? Because in some countries, for example, in UK, the PhD can be, you can enter a PhD with a bachelor degree. So we have to clarify this, that in Italy, such as in other foreign countries, we need a master degree.
Perfect. So you just don't have a required number of hours. It's just a master's degree.
Yeah, it should be recognized as a master degree from the Bologna Agreement. That is called the international agreement that make all the conversion between the different titles. So is the equivalent of a 5-year study, first level studies as they call. So if you got your master degree, your second master degree before the end of October, and is 2 years, if I well understood, that's a perfect title, okay?
Perfect, thank you so much.
Okay, now we have another question from Hamad.
No, probably we can let's give the opportunity first to the speakers never talk. Like
okay, so Shanmuga.
Sorry, Ahmed, we come back to you later on. Yeah.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yep.
very well.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Shanmuga, a recent master's graduate from Sweden, from Chalmers University. I'm interested in the circular economy and business model innovation for a just transition. It was a wonderful presentation, very informative and to the point. I have one query on about the scholarship. What does it cover? Like, do you have tuition fees to conduct a PhD studies, and are there any kind of stipends? Maybe I missed the part about it. Can you elaborate a bit more on that?
So
Mario, okay.
the tuition fees, I can say that the tuition fees are taken out from your scholarships. Basically, they are very. I don't remember the amount of money, but they are very small. And the second part, I didn't get the second part of your question. Sorry.
Are there any kind of stipends for the PhD students? Like, because in few countries, PhD students get a sort of a salary.
Yes.
Stipends. Yeah.
Yes, of course. The scholarships comes with the scholarship is actually a sort of salary, because it's a little bit more than 1,000 euros, 1,100 euros per month. And it is this amount of money is increased in case that you go abroad and you are obliged to go at least 6 months abroad. It is increase of 50%. And besides your salary, you have also an extra budget of about 6,000 euro for all your PhD course to cover expenses relative to your research. So if you go to a seminar, to a workshop, if you need, if you need to cover cost expenses for the publications on open journals, everything could be covered on this extra budget. I see Armando would like to add something.
Yeah, sorry, Shanmuga, I think, sorry about the pronunciation. I'm not sure what you meant with stipend, because, just to clarify, okay, because in some countries, a stipend is basically a salary that is where it's tax-free, okay? Regarding for the PhD scholarship in Italy, it's not a stipend in that sense, because it's actually taxes in it. So when we talk about something like about 1,100 euros, it's actually after taxes. So before that, some taxes are taken out and are paid for the health system and for pension contribution, or anything related to that part of the system. So it's not stipend in that sense. It's more like it's as related to the European Charter of Researchers. It's between a PhD candidate, between a student and the worker. So it's not a stipend in that sense.
Okay. Yeah, I was more going with the salary that we get after taxes, and yeah, thanks for the clarification.
Mario, forse ne possiamo rispondere, già che ci siamo, anche a alcune domande nella chat che sono collegate. Ad esempio, chiedo, sorry, if the question is if it can be extended the 6th period abroad, and that there are other questions related. I think that if you can elaborate more, if there is already a program to go abroad, or each university as to organize this period.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for this question. And the 6 months abroad is the minimum. Is the minimum period that you need to be abroad. You could stay there even more than 6 months if you agree that with your supervisor, or if it is suggested by your supervisor. It is also true that we have quite a dense educational program, and we will make sure that before going abroad, you complete your educational program, so all the training hours. Also, this plan is made such that most of the hours are located in the first year. Okay, the first year is dedicated mainly on education, so on trainings, on workshops, and the other 2 years are left mostly for research. During the second and the third year, you are suggested to spend at least 6 months abroad. We have many contacts already with foreign universities and research institutes, although the agreement on which research institute or university you will go to spend the period abroad is made by your supervisor. Okay, so the main person to decide where to go is your supervisor. I don't know if one of my colleagues wants to add something. No, I don't see. Okay, they see. Okay, they agree with me. So Alberto, please go on.
We have a question from Liazzat.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you very much for this introductory webinars. Very helpful and useful indeed. So my question would be about the research proposal. I'm living and working currently in Kazakhstan. So would it be possible to focus on the context of Central Asia? For example, when I want to develop my research question, would it be regarding to transboundary waters or IWRM, just as a way to show you my knowledge of the topic, since I have the knowledge of the topic, but regarding the Central Asian context, let's say. This wouldn't mean that I would necessarily want to develop my PhD thesis in this region. I heard the question from Mariana that might be, it might be that it has to be something related to Europe and Mediterranean. But just to show you the understanding of the subject, can I focus, for instance, on something that is very relevant to me?
Yeah, Roberto would like to answer.
Yes, of course. You can focus your research on what you feel more confident in. Of course, if it fits with the research topic that you have chosen. Okay, so no problem about the geographical focus if this is not required in a different way than the research topic that you have chosen. Okay, so no problem.
I'm just slightly worried about the questions because you mentioned in the research proposal that we should understand the gaps in the research. So of course, it's always easier to realize the gaps when you know the context of the region and when you have the study area already identified.
Yes,
that's why, yeah.
Yes, yes, but in general, if you are more confident in a specific topic and you think you can well answer, you think you can build a research proposal that fits with that research topic using your previous skill and knowledge and experience, this is, of course, something that you have to follow because it's a value added that you can put in your research proposal.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Roberta.
Thanks. Thanks, Roberta. There are a few questions in the chat about the opportunity to send a reference letter. Maybe we can.
We don't have the reference letter in our request, okay? You have to complete the 3 documents that we required.
Exactly.
So there were 4 questions like this, so we answered.
I was reading the chat, I was looking for that. Okay.
Maybe Tommaso can make his question.
Tommaso Cortopassi, please.
Yeah, thank you. Good afternoon. And I apologize in advance if this question has already been asked, but I was not present in the first minutes of the Q&A session. So I would like to ask if there is a sort of required or preferable template for the CV, or even how can I say, a lower bound of words? Because I mean, 2,000 words. I mean, speaking for myself, I just graduated, so as far as research and work experience, you know, I don't have basically any, and I mean, 2,000 words are a lot. Also, I was wondering if documents such as the degree, master's degree, or even I don't know how to say it in English, but laurea triennale, with exams and marks, evaluation marks, they must be enclosed some way in the application, or they have to be reported some way in the CV, or what? I don't know if explain myself.
Thank you, Tommaso. Thank you. I try to answer very good that you asked this. Thank you for your question. So about the format, you don't have to worry about any specific format. Roberta was saying before that any format is good. You just choose the format that better fit to your style, let's say. Okay. The important thing is that the content of the CV is relevant, and you put all the information. There is not a lower limit. There is just an upper limit. And the reason there is an upper limit is because sometimes we find a CV of 100 pages, and it's really difficult over 100 pages to find the relevant information, okay? So it's the opposite, the problem that is the opposite of what you're saying. We are very happy to read short CV when in the short CV there are all the relevant information that can allow the selection board to evaluate your career. About the transcript, this is particularly important for those students like you that they have just the first degree, the 3-year degree, laurea triennale, and they need to get laurea magistrale, which is equivalent to the master degree, but they still do not have them. In order to assess their career without a final score of your degree, we allow candidates to upload their examination transcripts, okay, the gradings of your examinations. And you can do that in a separate file as an attachment. There is a button that you can include there. Is an auto certification, so is a self declaration where you actually put all your career, or you can even upload if you have certificate from your university. Is exactly the same. And this is especially important again for students without a title, that in any case, I repeat, should be got before the beginning of the PhD, so at the 31st of October at last.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, but yeah, I mean, I already got my master's degree, but I mean, I can enclose this transcript.
Yeah, you can.
Because I mean, it's I will write maybe the important exams and the important skills also in the CV, but I think it might be useful to see the
you
career.
Yeah.
And also, if last question, I mean, I was looking for other PhD courses, how's it called, applications. I mean, and usually there is a tax for the application, like something like 30 euros or something like that. And just to be sure, this is free. I mean, there is
no, there are no fees.
No fees. Okay.
Free application. Be sure. You can apply and you do not need to pay anything.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, there is a question now from Gianluca, which also wrote in the chat. So Gianluca, please you can make your both questions.
Hello, thank you. Can you hear me?
Very well.
So yes, thank you for the presentation. It was very clear and useful. And yes, I wanted to ask you maybe two questions. So one, I already wrote it in the chat, but yes, maybe I can repeat it now because I didn't have an answer. And it was if it's important, the order in which you present the topics, the 3 topics during the application. So if you have the chance then to be accepted for all the 3 topics, if then you have compulsory to accept the first one, or then if you can choose, if you're free to choose between all the 3 ones. That is the first question. And then the second question is a bit broader. If you could clarify maybe, or I mean, deepen a little bit more, how will be developed the collaboration between the doctoral students? So in which way there will be a chance to, yes, work together, to exchange ideas and so on. Thank you.
Okay, Roberta, try to answer to the first part and I let you answer to the second part if you
Sorry,
want.
better if you answer.
Okay, I answer to that. Okay, so the first was about the order of preference. Okay, yes, it is important, the order of the preference, because in the final ranking, according to the scholarship eligibility and your final score, you will be assigned the first available scholarship. So if your first choice is available, you will be assigned to the first scholarship will be assigned to you. If it is not available the first, it will be available the second will be available, otherwise the third. So at that stage, you cannot anymore change your order of preference. You will get just the first available scholarship. It will not possible for you to choose at that stage, because we rely on the decision that you made at the admission stage. So if you say that your 3 choices are B3, B10, and B17, we will follow this order. Is it clear, Gianluca? Or...
Yes, very much. Yes, thank you very much.
Okay. The second, this was an important question, and we forgot to say that. So thank you for asking that, because it's important to understand that on the final ranking, no possible changes are anymore allowed. Okay. So the second part, how the collaboration will be organized. So if you saw on the educational program, if you see in the educational program, there are at least the first and the second levels, which are designed in order to start a collaboration on the first level among the different PhD students. So at the, let's say, PhD level. And on the second level, within the curriculum. So you will spend with your PhD colleagues 48 hours in different events, in different occasions at the PhD level, and 48 hours with your colleagues at the same CU. During these events, we will not just give talks or seminars. We will work as a team, okay? We will do a lot of team working. So we will also work on specific topics, specific aspects of the research within small groups. Supervisors will try to match different interests. If there are, research topics which can be 2 different aspects of the main of one theme, the supervisors, we will organize the collaboration between the PhD students. I mean, of course, we cannot decide the collaboration a priori, because the thesis will be decided with by you with your supervisors based on your skills and interests. What we are trying to do now is just to prepare the conditions to facilitate this collaboration, okay? And there will be many occasions, many opportunities to know each other and to collaborate with the others. Was it clear, Gianluca?
Yes, yes, thank you very much.
Thank you for your questions, very important.
Thanks, Gianluca. And then there is a question about the months abroad. Do the 6 months abroad need to be spent in the same location and all in a row? So we can stay 3 months somewhere and 3 months somewhere else.
Yeah.
I think yes, because the importance is the whole period spent abroad, which needs to be a minimum of 6 months. And then this is discretion of among you and your supervisor.
Yeah.
And then there is another question that was particularly interesting. Wait a second.
In the meantime, I give the permission to talk to KU.
Okay, yeah, good afternoon. Sorry, actually, I didn't realize that my name wasn't fully
okay,
typed until just now. My name is Kenechukwu Uba.
Okay, nice to meet you.
Yeah, thank you. So currently, I'm finishing my master's at the University of Liège, and I just wanted to ask a question. Actually, the question I want to ask has been partly addressed. There are 2 questions, and during this very clear presentation, it managed to be touched. So, but I just had a little gray area on the first one, because it was mentioned that there is having published works is good. It's suggested, but not not absolutely required. And also that the link, that because it's an interdisciplinary master's program, there isn't such a stress on having the current background directly to the background of the curriculum or of the of the program to be. So I just wanted to know where do we have, because in order to be able to properly assess a candidate's suitability, there has to be a link somewhere. So I'm thinking, does a link have to be between the background and the research proposal, or rather between the research proposal and the curriculum on the course, like the specific program being selected? That is the first question. And then the second question is, because the time abroad is recommended to be at least 6 months, I just wanted to be sure what is the minimum required duration at the host university. So I hope that my questions were clear.
Duration of what is, sorry?
To stay at the host university.
Okay.
At the home university. Yeah.
Okay, so there are 3 questions. The first relative to the publications, correct?
Yeah.
So no publications are required. Of course, having a publication is a plus, but don't worry if you do not have any publications, because as I told you before, this is just the beginning of a research career, of a PhD career, okay? And we know that most of you will not have any publication, so don't worry, that's not a problem. Of course, publications are evaluated, so if you have publication, please make sure to put in your CV. The second is relative to background. Okay, so in the research topic card, you find the ERC sector, so the European Research Council sector. We thought that this was a good way to provide the research area within which the research topic will be carried out, the research will be carried out, but it's not meant to be compulsory to come from that research background, okay, from that academic background. So if you are an engineer and you apply for an economic scholarships, this is perfectly okay, provided that at least you have the basics to start your PhD. For instance, in my scholarship, which is scholarship D10, is about insurance and finance to manage climate risk. And if you look at the research areas, they go from engineering to economy to statistics to finance. So a person coming from any of these background is good, given that the approach of the research will be in any case multidisciplinary. So according to the candidate, we will tune the research on his or her interest and skills. Okay, so background is not a limitation; it's just a starting point. And the third was about the duration. Yeah, okay, that is also an important question, because operatively, each PhD student will carry out his research in a host university. So let's, for instance, think that you apply for a scholarship in Turin, okay? Most of the time you will be in Turin, you will have an office there, you will be in a research team environment there. Most of the courses will be there, but you will spend probably 25-30% of your time going in other universities to attend other courses, coming to use to attend multidisciplinary events. I mean, you will go around, because at the end of the day, we would like to build a network, so people will go around a lot among the different universities. But most of the time, you will stay at your host university. And besides the time you spend in Italy, you need to spend 6 months abroad in another foreign university. Okay, so I don't know if I answered to your question.
Yeah. Actually, you answered it. But I'm just like, to be a little bit more clear, since you've touched it now, is there, if the minimum time required to be spent abroad is 6 months, is there a minimum time required to be spent at the host or at the home university?
Well, there is not a minimum in terms of a compulsory time, but you are encouraged to be there physically, because you need to leave the atmosphere of a research community, of a research team. You need to be part of a research team. So I invite all the PhD students to spend as much as possible of their time in the host university, in the laboratories, in the research teams, because that is a way also to learn and to understand how the research world is made, how it works. Sometimes you meet people from other PhD courses, or you meet researchers from other areas, and then that is always an opportunity to build relationship, to be exposed to different problems. So research is about curiosity. Research is about be exposed to many interests. So I think it will be a plus if you could spend most of your time at the university, both the host universities and the other university partners of the PhD course.
Okay, thank you. It's very clear now. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Q. And now there is a question about if the research proposal will be read and evaluated by the supervisor or of that specific research topic. I can say that in the committee, there are experts of each field and of each specific research topic. so they can give advice about the quality of research proposal and the evaluation of the candidates. So in a certain way, yes. And then is the number of publication important in the decision? If you don't have any publication, it will be not counted, but there are evaluation of the CV, right, Mario?
Yeah, exactly. So to be clear, we will assess publications, but they will not be the only evaluation criteria. So this means that don't worry if you do not have any publication, because even without publication, you can reach, if you have other qualifications, the minimum score or even more to be admitted to the oral interview, okay, to be included in the oral interview. So don't worry about that. We need, of course, to assess publications, because publications are important in research. So we need to recognize those students who already have experience in the research a point to the publications, but that will not be the only criteria. So Marco would like to add something.
Not about publication, but there are many questions about deadlines, especially deadlines for submitting transcripts and documents. So the deadline is for submitting your application is 22nd of July, so in 3 weeks. Then, if you didn't complete your master degree, or you have not yet your certificate, you have time up to
the 31st of October.
31st of October. Okay.
Yeah.
So this will respond to many questions on this issue.
Yeah. An important thing is that when you submit your proposal, cannot be modified. Okay. When you submit the proposal, is done. You cannot modify anymore. So think carefully if you want to submit your proposal, your application. Sorry. In your application, put please all your relevant qualifications, regardless if you have an official certificate or not, because you can produce your official certificate before the beginning of the PhD, so until the 31st of October.
I mean, there is also, there is a question about, submitting not the official certificate, but because there is someone who has a problem with getting the certificate before December or something. So would it be possible to submit a letter from the university stating that the title has been achieved and the certificate will be produced later? Or do we need the proper certificate?
I prefer that you make this question on by email using the PhD-SDC at uspavia.it, because I think that this declaration is enough. But being a very administrative question, to be sure, please write to the administration. I'm a professor. I do not know the rules in such detail. But, I'm sure that if you got your title before the 31st of October, that will be enough. Please make sure that this is the procedure with the administration.
I think there are two different questions. One, if they haven't the certificate, but they finished the course, so they already have the degree, and the others are if they finish the degree after the deadline, finish the course. So I think it's they should specific very well in the email.
Yeah, you need to actually have your degree before the 31st of October. So you need to finish your previous degree before the 31st of October. This is for sure, and you need to get your title. Another problem is how to certificate these. If your university is not able to produce the paper, let's say, with the stamp of your degree before the 31st of October, but it could produce a declaration, a letter, or anything that is official, that is the title has been already taken, I think is enough, but please write to the administration and they will answer in much more detail than I did.
There is also, excuse me, Mario, there is also a question by Lilia Dahl asking about the grades, because apparently he or she has a degree in Denmark, got a degree in Denmark, which has a different grading scale, which is in letters. I don't know. So, I mean, I would say that for this specific and technical questions, it's better to contact, you know, the administration at use. What? Okay, Mario?
Yeah, I think about this. Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Yeah. Yes, about this administrative question, it's better to write an email. There are very precise rules about that. There is an agreement called the Bologna Agreement among the different universities, which also allow the conversion between different grading marks, different grading criteria. If you write to the administration, PhD-SDC@uspavia.it, you will get a precise answer on that.
There is also a question by Mariana Barbosa about funding the research work. She asks, in case my research focus on another country's continents and include field work, will we have financial support to conduct it?
Yeah, exactly. You have an extra budget, as I told you, about 6,000 euro. And with these, provided that your supervisor is favorable, you can also do field work with that amount of money. Sorry, I remember also that it probably is important, relevant to say that we activate a section of the website with the frequently asked questions. You could find in the menu below the admission. In the admission, you can find also the FAQ section. In this FAQ section, we add all the relevant questions that have been asked. They are asked by email or they are asked during the webinars. So if you want, you can also look at the FAQ sections. I see there are other 4 raised.
Yeah. Ravulakolu, please talk.
Hi, thank you so much. The seminar was really so nice and it was very clear. I'm presently doing my master's in University of Casino. I almost completed all my subjects, just need to get a graduation. And I'm doing telecommunication engineering. And I was very much interested in doing PhD. Can I directly continue my PhD or do I need to go to my country and get any other documents like to continue my studies further?
So I didn't get, you have already your title, your degree?
No, I didn't get my graduation. I completed all my subjects, but I didn't get my graduation.
You mean a master graduation?
Yes, master's from
And,
University of Casino.
When will you get the title?
I will be getting in September.
Okay, yeah, it's okay. If you get your qualification by September, it's okay.
I want to know, like, I am doing masters here, but I am from India. Can I continue my studies in PhD directly without a visa, just by with the support of Permiso extension?
Okay, yeah, I can, I don't know, I don't have an answer to this question. You need to write to the administration, phd-sdc@uspavia.it, because I don't know the rules about visa. Sorry.
Okay, no worries. Thank you. I will write to the administration.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry.
Marco, we can write the email here in the chat. Maybe.
Yeah.
And then there is Pedro.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for this webinar. I have two questions, actually. Will there be any university that we need to pay for, or the program cover them all? Like, do we need to pay any fees with our scholarship, or is covered by the program? And will there be any teaching activities in the PhD curricula or something?
Any teaching activities? Sorry, I didn't.
Yes, teaching activities.
Yeah,
Like,
okay. Yeah, thank you for your question. And okay, the scholarships. The scholarships includes social securities fees, so anything relative to insurance, to health assistance, anything like that. The scholarships does not include. I mean, you need to pay for by yourself for accommodations and these sort of things. And about the fees, the registration fees are very low. I don't know how much they are. There are few hundreds euros, and usually they are taken out from your scholarships. Okay, the net amount of your scholarship is about 1,100 euro per month.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, now, of course, the flights will not be paid to arrive in Italy. After you get the scholarship, you need to start from Italy. And then there are other questions. We can answer the quick question from Hamad, Anna, and Gianluca, because they already have talked. Hamad.
Thank you, sir. I apologize for questioning again. I took your time before also. I'll be very quick. First question is that in the application instruction, it says, let me read it, provide information on award of a research grant. Does it mean that if I have any kind of research grant from my country, is it meant like that, or what kind of research grant is the form asking for? In the it says provide information on award of research grant or employment in an italic public administration. And second question is, sir, I joined PhD before. Like, I have a master's in sustainable environment and energy systems, and then I started PhD in electrical. But after finishing my coursework, I couldn't find a proper advisor to work in the renewable energy. So I left the university before I took my qualified exam. Before the qualified exam, I decided to leave because I couldn't find the advisor. So should I mention this in my CV? Because sometimes I've seen when I mention that I took PhD coursework, sometimes advisors or supervisors, they step back, knowing that, okay, I took somewhere and then I left. Will it be helpful to tell that, show and give my transcript also, because I have the official transcript, to show that I have taken these coursework, so I have this theoretical background? Or is it better that I don't mention my PhD that I left at all? And thank you. These are the two questions.
Okay, about research grant, I didn't very well understand what you mean. So can you repeat the first part of your question about the research grant?
Yes, sir, sure. Sir, I downloaded the application instruction, and point number 6 says provide information on award of a research grant, employment in an Italian public administration.
Okay. Yes. Sorry. Now I understand. Yes.
Okay.
Sorry. It is compulsory for the Italian law to declare whether you have already another research grant ongoing. So if you have a fellowship or research grant, for instance, in Italy we have postdocs. Usually they have research grants. It is compulsory, and that's why it is asked in the form to declare it, because you cannot have two research grants like PhD scholarships and other research grants at the same time paid from public administrations. So that's why it is asked. So you need just to I don't think you have a research grant from Italian institutions ongoing, and you do not need to worry. People who has already a research grant paid from other universities or from a research institute, they need to declare, because at the end they need to choose whether they want to preserve it or they want to get instead the research scholarship of the PhD. About the second question. So the second question was about your experience with the PhD. I don't think is a relevant information, given that you didn't basically attend a PhD course. But you can decide whether, if you think that that experience in that course, you attended relevant courses or you had some qualifications, you can include. If you didn't get any qualifications during that period, I don't think it's relevant. You can avoid to put that information in your CV.
Okay, so thank you so much. That's really nice of you.
Thank you.
Now there is Anna. No.
Anna?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry for the many questions that I'm doing.
Go ahead.
We just wanted to give the floor also to the other persons, but you can make as many questions as you want. Also the others, if they want to make other questions, even if they talk already, please, no problem at all. So go ahead, Anna.
We are online for a reason, no? There is this problem of the COVID. So what happens if a third wave arrives and we cannot work inside the university? We have to work by home. And because I think that the university would be closed and maybe there is even an option of a third vaccination. So it's a bit complicated this time.
Thank you for the question, Anna. I cannot make any prediction on.
Yeah, of course.
Unfortunately, we all hope that in the future we'll not have so many restrictions as we have in the past. In the last 2 years, unfortunately, we had periods where the university were completely closed, but we had also period where classes, lectures were in what we call the hybrid mode, where some people up to the capacity of the classrooms were in presence and the other were at home. Personally, and I think all of us prefer lectures, interactions physically, in persons. But in any case, I can also say that if we will have restrictions for a fourth wave, we can manage. We can manage by means of these sort of platforms. We can work, even in research teams using Zoom, using other tools. Research didn't stop. Actually, it's not ideal. It's not ideal because meeting in persons are much better, but is not a big problem we can solve. Of course, we all hope that next year will be much better than the last two. Marco would like to add something.
No, just a couple of questions that I'm not responding in the chat, in the question and answer section. So first, so there is an anonymous attendee asking for, if the defense of my internship of my master program is in the mid of September, then I won't be able to apply for this PhD, right? What I understand is that is going to defend the master in mid-September.
Yeah, he is able actually to apply for the PhD. If your master qualification, if your master degree is will come before the end of October, you can apply anyway. You can apply anyway. You can defend your master thesis in September. You will get your qualification before the end of October. In your CV, you can specify that, and you can put your examination transcripts, and you are okay. There are many people in these conditions, so don't worry.
And another question from Andres Martinez, asking if in an extraordinary case, could there be an opportunity to start the PhD course, let's say in December instead of November? I would say that, okay, the PhD starts officially in November and all the activities start in November. You can also arrange with your, I mean, if you mean start the PhD in the sense, you know, to move to Italy and be physically there, you can arrange this with your supervisor. But I would also say that if there is any activity for the PhD, for instance, you know, the multidisciplinary event in which your presence is required, or a curriculum event in which your presence is required, you must be there. I think that this...
Yeah, Alberto?
Gianluca, if you want to talk. Please.
Hello again. Yes, thank you. Yes, I was thinking about another question, in fact, because you were explaining just before that doctoral students will have to move around quite a lot between the different universities to follow courses. And so I was wondering if the courses, especially the courses, but also the seminars and all these events will be all concentrated in a specific period, like, for example, during the first month or during the first 2 months, the courses will be held, or if they will be more spread during all the first year or the first years, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, thank you for your question, Gianluca. For sure, we will have 2 big events in the first year. The kickoff meeting will be at the beginning of the PhD course, so ideally the 2nd or the 3rd week of November. We do not have yet a fixed date, but we will decide that for sure before the beginning of the PhD. And a multidisciplinary event. And the multidisciplinary event will be probably during the examination session. You know, in Italy we have examination session in January and February, and probably the first MD event will be in that period. All the other events have not been scheduled yet, but will be concentrated mostly on the first year about the educational program. We will have some events on the 2nd year and just one event, which is a big workshop, big final workshop on the 3rd year. But I would say that 60% of the PhD courses will be on the first year, 30% on the 2nd year, and just the last workshop on the 3rd year. This is in order to allow people gradually to work more and more on the research. So at the beginning, they will dedicate more time on the educational and training program, and at the end they will dedicate most of the time on the research activities.
Okay, thank you. And but I was also wondering, because of course it's very nice, this possibility, this chance that doctoral students will have to discover many different realities in universities. Though maybe it can be hard for example, a student from Sardinia to come from the University of Sassari to use Pavia every week. So for this, I was wondering how it will be organized. If
Yeah, of course, yes. We have a calendar where what we think it is suitable is to concentrate on in 1 week the workshop. So the first MD workshop will be on in one university for 1 week, where everybody will come there, all the PhD students, all the professors and researchers will be for 1 week in the same place, okay, in the same university. Probably we will have another week like that in the first year, but all the other events will be organized such that it is possible for students to attend their local courses at the host university, and after they finish this period, they will move to another university. So we'll try to organize things such that there is not an overlap. Of course, there is also a budget, as I said before, an extra budget for mobility and to pay travel costs. Each PhD student has a budget of 6,000 euro, and this will be, we think, enough to move and pay the cost for mobility for the educational program.
Okay, so just to complete the question, so apart from the 2 big special events of the first year, then the courses would be mostly at the host university and not in Pavia.
No, most of the courses we will have. We can say that we have 3 different locations. For the MD, sometimes will be Pavia, but it is not compulsory. For other MD event, will be in any case 1 university for all the network. Okay, and everybody will move there. For the CU event, one of the university within the CU course, the CU, the curriculum will host the CU events. So for instance, for curriculum 2, for instance, there is University of Messina, who is part of the CU2, and a course can be offered at University of Messina, okay? And the third level, which is the FD level, so the focus and disciplinary event, will be instead provided by local universities mostly. But if your supervisor thinks that there is a course which is very useful in another university, different from the university where you are hosted, you could go there. So this is the idea of the network. We share resources, we share knowledge. Okay, so people are encouraged and supported to move across the different universities. We want to build a community and exchange information, letting people traveling, organizing courses in different locations is a way to build a network. Again, Gianluca, we'll try to make our best in order to set the program without any overlap.
Okay, of course. Thank you.
Thank you for your question. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I think we finished the question and the...
Very well. Marco, are there questions that we didn't reply?
No. I would say there is. Okay, there is the last question. Would there be courses of Italian language organized for the PhD students? I would say no. I mean, not by the PhD program, but I think that in your host university you can find training courses for foreign students in each university.
Yeah, if you want to learn Italian, we are very happy.
Sure.
We will offer opportunities also to learn Italian during events, lunches, dinners, and many other social events. But we do not offer specifically Italian courses in our educational program. However, each university, in most of the universities, are schools for foreign students, Italian schools for foreign students. For instance, in Pavia, there are. And if you ask to your local university, I'm sure you can find a course. I will be very, very happy also to organize side events for foreign students to exchange their experience in different languages and learn some Italian traditions, culture, science. It is also an opportunity there to exchange our the information about our cultures.
For further clarification, I mean, the language of the PhD is English, spoken, written, and everything. So everything will be in English. So, I mean, this is also, I mean, for attract and facilitate foreign students to join, because we are looking for, international framework. But yeah, of course, you will be in Italy. So, I mean, if you want to learn Italian, we will help you. We will try to help you in this task.
Actually, our foreign students in the first year are able to communicate in Italian, students from each part of the world, at least to communicate the basics and participate to the work groups, just for people that would like to learn Italian.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you very much. It was really a great pleasure to host you here in our second webinar. Probably there will be a last webinar 1 week before the deadline for the last questions for your doubts. We ask you to share our website and social posts also among your network to the benefit of all the community, because we think that having students, candidates from different countries, from different disciplines, from different cultures is a positive side, a strength of our PhD program. We really, really invite you to make any questions you have to the email address of our PhD. So it's phd-sdc@uspavia.it. You will find that in our website. It was really a great pleasure. We will put the registration of this webinar on the website. Keep in touch. Use the search engine also to navigate across different research topics. Thank you again, Marco, Alberto.
Thank you. And also feel free, do not hesitate to contact, if you are interested in specific scholarship, do not hesitate to contact the contact person for the specific scholarship for information and advice.
Exactly. We are all available to provide you the necessary information. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
If you are interested in specific scholarship, do not hesitate